Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Cubica AMF Tech Tip Podcast. This is a weekly podcast where we take you on a journey through the fascinating world of bowling technology and beyond. As always, I'm your host, Orly, and we have another great guest with us today. We have Brandon Brooks. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And Brandon, I know I ask you this all the time, but I'm going to ask again. Can you let everyone know what you do with the company and what your title is and what you do with the company?
Technical documentation specialist, kind of in charge of a lot of the documents that either we're getting here in tech support or that are customer facing on the Concur Maximization Resources site. So just making sure everything is accurate, in place, and available.
Okay. And if you just came across this podcast and if you're thinking what companies you're talking about, it's Cubica AMF. I guess I should have mentioned that, what you do with Cubica AMF. So today, if you're new to the show, we just kind of cover different tech tips that could help you maybe fix something in your center or, maybe help you keep something up to date or just troubleshooting. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Brandon's here today to talk about pin pad troubleshooting and, general maintenance. So I guess first question would be, pin pads could maybe mean a few different things in different businesses. So if you want to let everyone know what we mean by pin pad and what kind of pin pads you're going to talk about today.
Sure. And then when we say pin pads, we're talking about where customers would go to essentially process their payments or use their credit cards. So not something kind of like your embed or your intercard, like cashless systems, but more so we're talking about like the Tempest payment processing pin pads.
Okay. And yeah. Today, if you could just kind of go over, maybe some things that happen that you get calls about and, how they can fix that, or maybe something they could look for, or maybe even cleaning tips. I don't know. Anything you could give today, we would appreciate it.
Sure. There's, we do get a lot of calls about pin pads not being connected to the computer that they're supposed to be connected to. And one of the easiest ways you can do this is just checking and making sure that your pin pad is actually connected to the internet. So you can reboot either your wireless pin pad or your wired pin pad. So move 5000, lane 3000. You can hold down the pound key and the yellow button at the same time, and this will reboot your device. When that device comes back up again, it should show you an IP address. And if it doesn't show you an IP address, it shows you like a number, something like ASC00, something along those lines, then it's not connected to the internet and it will not process payments. If you do get an IP address, that means it is connected to the internet and you should be able to process payments. If you find that you're unable to process payments or they're not showing up on the computer that you're expecting them to, you can also check in your terminal setup under setup in Concur. And under the devices tab, there's a pin pad module in the bottom right-hand corner of the Concur screen. And so there you can check the IP of the pin pad device against what is set in Concur. And as long as those things match, you're connected to the internet. You shouldn't have any problem processing these payments.
Okay. And what, I mentioned cleaning and, I used to work at a retail store, back in the day and, back in the day of swiping your card, which not many people swipe anymore. It's more of a chip, or just tap it. But I know like every once in a while back in the swiping days, our reader wouldn't read. And there was like all these different, and I don't even know if this is the proper thing to do, but one of the associates would like get a plastic bag and put it around the card and swipe it until it worked, and it would work. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if that was the safest and best thing to do, but it worked. So what I guess I'm trying to get at is there any kind of cleaning tips people can use with these chip readers nowadays or these pin pads to keep them, I don't know if they use a little aerosol can or what they can do to keep these clean and properly working?
Yeah, they actually make like card cleaners that are roughly the same size as a card that kind of have bristles on the end of them.
Okay.
And typically these pin pads are around a lot of sodas or foods and things like that. So they tend to get into that slot where the chip reader might be. And so cleaning it out, maybe hitting it with some air or something like that should generally help free that up because, when you're reading the chip, there's two metal contact points. And as long as they make contact with the chip, they should process the payment. So as long as you clean that out, it should be good to go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm old school. I'm going to age myself a little bit, but like I think of the days of video games where you just pull it out and blow in it. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Something's broken. I'm like, okay, just blow a little air in there and it should work.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, I appreciate that. Again, don't listen to my advice of putting a plastic bag around the card. I don't even know what that did, but for some reason it would help it work.
It out.
Yeah. Hopefully it scanned the person's card right.
Also, another thing, if you're trying to locate the pin pad IP address, and you don't reboot it, you can type in 4636 and hit enter, and it will show you the IP address of the pin pad device for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then it'll go away, but you can always type in 4636 with the green button and get the IP.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on to share those tips today. I'm sure that's going to help some people out. Like you said, if they're getting that message, now they'll know what to do. So I appreciate your time, Brandon. And anyone that's listening for the first time, or you're still new to the show, make sure you're going back and listen to past shows. There's a lot of great info out there. And until next time, we will talk to everyone soon.